bless Anambra. God bless the shining lights that we bear. We're the only ones to make her brighter, the only ones to make her better, the only ones to make Anambra shine. With our sweat and blood, every breath of our lives, with trust in God, we will lift our homeland high. We believe in together.
Enigmatic Governor of Anambra State, His Excellency.
It's been 18 months since Chief Willie Obiano OKEKE took the mantle of office as the Executive Governor of Anambra State.
Anambra people are blessed to have a governor like Willie Obiano. He's a man that understands, has a vision for the state, where he wants to take the state, and also understands there are problems the state has. And these are obstacles that he must, tackle, to get to his vision. And in the past 18 months, I've seen that. I've seen things, his efforts, his sincerity, his forcefulness to get things done, to make sure he achieves his goals.
How has His Excellency fared in keeping his electoral promises? These are the facts. One undeniable fact is that Anambra now enjoy peaceful atmosphere as promised by Governor Willie Obiano. This accounts for the sharp rise in economic and social activities in the state, judiciously utilizing the meager state resources and donations from various security fundraising gala nights in Awka, Abuja and Lagos. Governor Obiano set up and equipped the multi-security task force, Operation Ochapu. The task force comprises all relevant security outfits in the state, including the community vigilantes. Operation Ochapu has recorded very positive results. Kidnappers, armed robbers, forgers and other criminal elements are constantly being mopped up, while others have retreated outside the state. As a deterrent, properties of kidnappers are confiscated and destroyed. Conscious of the relevance of interstate collaboration in crime fighting, Chief Willie Obiano rallied his fellow governors in the Southeast and Delta State to a historic groundbreaking security conference which set up the ultimate stage for a vibrant economic agenda for the entire region.
This may well be our finest hour as a people, the turning point in our march to greatness that must tip the scale of progress in favor of our people. I say this with every sense of responsibility because recent experience has shown that living in an increasingly dangerous world, the only panacea for economic growth and development is a safe and secured environment. In Anambra State, we have fought and won the war against crime and criminality. We have driven away kidnappers, armed robbers, and drug barons out of our cities and communities. With the sustained effort of Operation Ochapu, Operation Shiba, and other tactical initiatives, the committed vigilance of the officers and men of the Anambra State Police Command, and the solid support of the Nigerian Army, the Navy, the Department of State Security, the NDLEA, we have cleansed Anambra State of criminals. With the tremendous support of the vigilante group who report directly to the divisional police officers, we have rooted the kidnappers and armed robbers from Anambra State. We have freed our social and economic space for business to thrive along with leisure. We have cleaned up the state and flung open our doors to investors.
The summit worked out a functional roadmap that will ensure the liberation of the Southeast and Delta region from the stranglehold of the different hues of criminals who have hitherto stunted economic growth of the zone for decades.
I think that it is very, very welcoming that he has invited us to this summit, because I know that in combating crime we need to talk together. I know that we need to discuss our problems, and that is why it's very, very important that we actually take this summit very seriously. Security is the bedrock of governance. There's not much you can do in governance without ensuring that there is peace. There's not much you can do when there is crisis in your state or in your various communities. I believe that by bringing the security agencies together first, and then bringing the public, the leadership of the communities as represented by our traditional rulers, we are taking a step in the right direction.
Not until we put our hands together, this canker work of crime will battle down our desire and enthusiasm to liberate ourselves economically. In the past few weeks, we've been pursuing an agenda that will seem to underline those things that bring us together economically. As this conference is most welcome, Abia State will benefit from it, and we hope that we will take home a few strategies that will enable us to do better in what we have planned to secure our people and their properties.
Further giving credence to Chief Obiano's stern move against criminality was the attendance of the Inspector General of Police, Solomon ARASE, who was also the chairman of the colloquium, the DG of DSS, Lawal Daura, and other top security officers in the country.
This conference marks another giant and innovative step towards meeting the most sacred responsibility of governance, which is the security and safety of the citizens. The uniqueness of this conference lies in the appreciation of the need to pull resources together and provoke a meaningful engagement among strategic political and security stakeholders with a view to jointly addressing a common security problem that is peculiar to a region and the contiguous states.
Politicians, traditional rulers and community elders, local government officials and the youth were not left out as they all graced the occasion in support of His Excellency's fight against crime.
What is important is the cooperation, that understanding and that recognition that there is a need for the security agencies in the adjoining states to work together, because what happens, yes, we've been able to, in Anambra, deal with our problems here, but the truth of the matter is that a lot of the criminal elements that we're operating in Anambra have gone to other states, and occasionally you have incursions into Anambra State from the adjoining states, and that is why it is important that we keep driving these people, and until probably we drive into the sea.
He is not stopping only in this state. He is not relaxing because we are safe, but he wants to co-opt other states, our brothers, our sisters in other states, so that their states will be as good as that of Anambra State. So the governor is doing so well. He has the love for this country, not only for his state.
With the emergence of Chief Willie Obiano as governor, civil servants in Anambra State have never had it so good. Despite the dwindling funds accruing to the state, Governor Obiano has not only increased salaries across board, he still pays promptly.
We're also ensuring that in our procurement processes, we follow the due process that enables us to drive value for money in our procurement processes. And then obviously we are driving the IGR agenda too, and I'm glad to say that we are succeeding, but we still have a long way to go. If we did all of that, I believe we should be able to carry on implementing the program even in the era of dwindling resources. But I'm hoping that Anambra people would recognize the good work His Excellency is doing and support him by putting their money where their mouth is, i.e. by paying their taxes and other levies on time.
The governor has also provided affordable transportation for civil servants to go to work across the state.
His first port of call on assumption of office was a meeting, with the civil servants, straight from the airport to our arena here, where the civil servants were waiting for him. And it was an instant bonding between the service and the new governor. He promised a review of salaries to them when things improved slightly, and he did that without prompting. At the beginning of this year, he reviewed the salaries of civil servants by 15%. Nobody knew. In fact, everybody was pleasantly surprised when they got their alert and saw changes. Some thought there was an error of some sort. So virtually everything he has promised, he has done. He promised buses to civil servants to ease their transportation problem. They are there. They've been shuttling all nooks and crannies of the state.
The governor has ensured that civil servants are periodically trained for better service delivery to the people. He has also ensured that eligible civil servants are duly promoted.
Like I said, it only takes an astute administrator, technocrat. We don't really see him as a politician in the service. We see him as a technocrat and astute administrator who knows how to get things done. And he doesn't speak from two sides of his mouth. When he says he's doing this, he does it. That's why the service loves him so much.
Governor Willie Obiano's desire to create a befitting state capital for Anambra is materializing through the newly created OKA Capital Territory Development Authority, ACTDA.
The authority was inaugurated May 15th, 2014, with the mandate to produce a master plan for the OKA Capital Territory, which is not just OKA. The territory encompasses 400 square kilometers or 10-kilometer radius from the government house. And so the mandate is to produce a master plan for the territory, produce infrastructure within the territory, implement the master plan within the territory, and control development within the OKA Capital Territory.
Anambra is the second state in Nigeria to successfully conclude area mapping of its state capital. This has given ACTDA all information required to map out new precincts to create a modern state capital.
It's a great thing that happened to this state because area photography is a process where the territory was captured in a photo form with a high resolution of 10 centimeters. And what this means is that the area photography will enable OKA Capital Territory Development Authority to generate the design, the master plan for the OKA Capital. That's just the minimal thing that we can use it to do. The area photography enables the government to move into the next stage, which is geographic information system, which is mostly used in land management. We are going to develop this city based on what we call multi-nuclear concept. This means it's not going to be a concentric city where you have only one center where everything is happening there. No, we thought that we would develop different precincts which would form nucleus, at least 4 of it. And so we call the multi-nuclear concept, with the center or the core being the old OKA, and then having the other precincts radiating from that, touching the boundaries of the virgin area.
Meanwhile, the state's new administrative conclave, the 3-arm zone, is vigorously under construction. The Amobe-Amansi Road project continues. It is projected that 2 of the 3 flyovers started by Governor Obiano will be ready for use by the end of this year. while the third is billed to be completed by the second quarter of 2016. These flyovers will not only ease traffic along the highway, but will change the skyline of Awka.
These 3 flyovers are my initiatives. I started them from the scratch, and 2 of the 3 flyovers will be done fully by October. The remaining one will be finished in April of next year, and it will change the face of Awka, by the time we do that.
Heretofore, we have had bottleneck of traffic where commuters experience a lot of problems passing through the state capital. The only exit before now was maybe Zik Avenue. But now the governor is adding the bridges, which will help to decongest not only beautifying the capital, giving Awka a befitting, look as a state capital from the Anambra.
Seeing himself as the CEO of the state and its chief marketing officer, Governor Obiano stormed the Lagos lecture circuit and delivered an outstanding lecture titled Sustaining the Legacy of Growth and Development in Anambra State at the Distinguished Lecture Series of the School of Media and Communication, Pan-Atlantic University. In the lecture, Governor Obiano sought to elevate conversations around the investment potentials of Anambra State. In the same vein, Governor Willie Obiano paid a visit to the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Addressing the floor, Governor Obiano said he thought it was time to take his investment drive to the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange in Lagos. In continuation of Governor Obiano's aggressive drive to attract investment into the state, he paid a courtesy call on the Chinese ambassador to Nigeria, Mr. Gu Ziajin, at the Chinese Embassy, Abuja, where discussions focused on possible areas of partnership between the People's Republic of China and the Anambra State government. Agriculture, waste management, trade and commerce, oil and gas, housing, among other sectors, were extensively discussed. Earlier in 2015, Governor Obiano received the Trade Investment Delegation from Thailand, the highest trade delegation to visit Anambra State. They came, they saw, and agreed to promote bilateral relationship with the state government and industrialists in the state. The creation of ANSIPA by Governor Obiano is a masterstroke. It has inevitably become the vehicle that is piloting His Excellency's economic blueprint.
His Excellency, every day he wakes up, he dreams and thoughts investment, because that's the only way you can create GDP. That's the only way you can create wealth. That's the only way you can create job for the youth. Take the youth off the street. So his vision, his dreams about investment in the next 2 years is probably to triple where we are today.
ANSIPA consolidates the 4 pillars of development and revamps quite a number of enablers. It gives a boost to wealth creation, youth employment, and economic empowerment.
The common denominator of all the investment that His Excellency has attracted to Anambra is job, job, job. Every investment is structured in such a way that it must determine the number of direct jobs such investment will create and indirect job, and the number of youths to be employed. And despite the gestation of investment, which takes average of 18 months, at full implementations, the job potential of all investments so far attracted by His Excellency is totaling well over 300,000. And this is demonstrated by the way His Excellency has structured all the investment coming.
ANSIPA has attracted $2.4 billion direct foreign and local investments into the state.
Because His Excellency had dealt with security and other enablers coming through the 4 pillars, about 60 to 70% of all investment were championed or midwife by indigenes of Anambra, what does this say? They have now developed unalloyed confidence in the administration of His Excellency Chief Willie Obiano. They believe he has given the enabling environment, he has given the friendliness of the enablers to be able to bring all those investments. Hitherto, he wouldn't even think of coming to invest in Anambra because he will not have the security to do that. But His Excellency has made those things possible within 18 months of his administration.
Agriculture in Anambra State has never received as much attention as it does in recent times. Obiano's new agricultural revolution, with great emphasis on mechanized farming, is a paradigm shift in policy. This administration, by creating an enabling environment and with the right policies, has successfully re-engineered agro-business. It has attracted into the state highly mechanized agro-ventures.
Been able to attract various multinationals and interested companies that will come into the state to bring agri production into the state. We've got companies of like Joseph Agro. We've got the Linden Groups, who Linden Group deals with poultry. We've got Cost Farms, who's got over 2,500 hectares and above. We've got Excel Farms, we've got Songhai Farms, and a whole lot of other interests coming into the state to get into the real agriculture.
This is also in addition to encouraging the creation of cooperative farmers clusters throughout the state and supporting them to thrive.
The state government went into partnership with EFOS, and also they did some sets of tractors that we have in the ministry. And we've been able to achieve that gap, close that gap in that sense, with the farmers helping them to cultivate and till their lands. At the moment now, the EFOS has begun work.
To ensure and maintain the quality of produce in the state government has set up a sophisticated quality control lab in Awka. Coscharis Farms, in collaborating with the state government, has established a 3,000-hectare rice farm in Anako, Ayamelum local government. This is in addition to Coscharis Farms' 120,000 metric ton rice mill coming up in the near future. This farm, which has recorded its first harvest, is conceived as a complete value chain project, from cultivation through processing to marketing. It is a realization of Governor Obiano's intent of collaborating with the private sector in driving his agricultural revolution.
With this farm, we want to develop this farm into world-class rice farm with fully GPS land leveling and fully irrigated, and with world-class combined harvesters, so for the harvesting operations. So this type of farms which you will be seen in Anambra State, it's a type of farm which you used to see in some major developed countries. So we are bringing the best of that technology to Anambra State, so that we can, this rice cultivation yield can be increased.
Joseph Agro is cultivating 10,000 hectares of rice farmland, also in Ayamelum. It will facilitate the milling of increased rice production in the state by resuscitating the Omo rice mill, increasing its capacity from 18,000 to 150,000 metric tons production a day. Excel Farms is establishing a $100 million 2,000-hectare farmland for the cultivation of tomato and cassava in Umueje, to be built as a complete value chain venture. It will house a processing plant for cassava and tomato paste production for export. It is expected that in the near future, Anambra produced rice will flood the market.
His Excellency also is very eager on us having a rice that we call Anambra State rice. We want to be able to put a stamp to this rice, and therefore on that vein he's funded a couple of small producing rice processing equipments, and we are installing them around the states, around the local governments. And ideally what we want to do is to be able to produce rice that we can chew without chewing stones. We want to be able to produce rice that we can call Anambra State rice.
Governor Obiano has kept faith with his promise to continue and complete, commission and commence new projects. Under his watch, all roads initiated by the previous administration are going on, while some have been completed and commissioned. In addition, Governor Obiano has introduced road furniture to all roads throughout the state.
I came into this administration through the platform of APGA. And the former governor that ruled this place for 8 years was then APGA, you know. So it made sense to continue with all the projects. I don't believe in abandoned projects because I didn't start this project, therefore I must not do it, let me go and do my own. No, it doesn't make sense. That's not how economies develop faster, you know. So I continued. The forces actually means to continue, to complete, to commission, and of course commence new projects, you know, and that's exactly what I'm doing.
The Obiano-led government has commenced the opening up of areas hitherto not connected to the rest of the state. These include roads that lead into Anambra's agrarian belt and oil and gas region. This is in a bid to give access to major markets.
I'm doing the longest road in Anambra, the one that starts from Aguleri North to the oil rig area with 2 bridges. The 2 bridges are almost 90% done, you know. Then the roads, you know, you don't do roads during the rainy season, so they are waiting for they are working on the bridges while waiting for the weather to improve before they continue the road, you know. So I'm confident that I'll deliver on all those things I promised.
The state government has continued to invest resources in creating an enabling environment that is boosting trade and commerce in the state. Existing markets throughout the state have been upgraded and have been installed with CCTVs for added security and surveillance.
And that has reduced pickpockets to almost zero, you know, because there's this saying that if you touch somebody's bag or pick somebody's pocket, the governor will see you and you'll be picked up. So that's great, you know, and it's working. And we intend to do so for all our markets.
The first phase of the Oba International Market is complete, while the 3 mega shopping malls are still under construction. These are in Awka, Nnewi and Onitsha. With the pace and verve in construction, the Onitsha shopping mall is expected to be open by the end of the year.
Most of the spaces have been sold out or let out there, and that's a real good indicator that people are very, very interested in that place. People understand that business is dynamic, and the way you do business is also dynamic. You know, we think that before December, everything will be open officially, based on the scope, the pace, and whatever of the work that has been done so far. You know, so, and this is also part of the 4 C's. You know, His Excellency, because the project was started before this administration. But it's a success story.
In the industrial sector, the government is revamping the existing industrial clusters in the state. It has concluded plans to create more clusters and industrial parks in other parts of the state. To provide adequate electricity, private investors are collaborating with the government to build gas-to-power plants using gas produced by Orient Petroleum.
Anambra is blessed with oil. We have oil reserves, we have gas reserves, which have not really been tapped. Orient Petroleum has been doing its best to try and see how much you can do in terms of increasing their productivity. But we haven't even tapped our gas. And those are areas that we can tap, and these are things that can fuel any power project.
To complement Anambra's budding auto industry, the state government has attracted interested investors in setting up auto industries which will assemble and produce various automobiles, including mechanized farm implements, light and heavy trucks, and other ancillary machinery components. Determined to provide qualitative healthcare to Anambra, Governor Obiano has continued to provide the needed infrastructure to Anambra health institutions. The Onitsha General Hospital is now undergoing renovation to accommodate the state-of-the-art medical equipment ordered by the state government. New units with new structures have been introduced to the Onitsha General Hospital, which include a special isolation unit in case of any outbreak of communicable diseases. This special facility comes with an elevated helipad for quick transportation of patients when required.
We are including a lot of structures in the existing ones. Apart from rehabilitating the existing ones and making them state of the art, we also included the isolation ward center for the tropical disease control. Now that we're having some diseases that have chances of spreading, we want to have some isolation ward that will take care of that. And in the same Onitsha, we have also introduced a helipad, a helicopter landing pad where emergencies can easily be flying at, people that may be taken to Lagos or other things.
Other health institutions in Umunze and Atani have been refurbished and ready to deliver qualitative health care. Chief Willie Obiano's partnering with an American healthcare firm, ARASE Health Corporation, signifies the beginning of a historic healthcare re-engineering project that will usher in a new phase of excellent Medicare in the rural areas of the state.
We have also partnered with some group, ARASE specialists from California, that has undertaken a rehabilitation of Umunze General Hospital, and then one at Central Senatorial Zone at others, and Osama.
The coalition would focus on re-engineering of hospitals in the state, starting with 2 hospitals, 3 health systems, including this one in Anambra Central, and Osamala General Hospital in Obaru in the north, and Arumba General Hospital in the south. So we're hoping to use ARASE Clinic as a model to re-engineer these 2 additional sites, and further down the road, we hope to use the model to implement it in other hospital systems in Anambra State as well, and create the reputation of Anambra State to be the center for healthcare across Nigeria.
Orumba General Hospital is undergoing massive restructuring, and according to ARASE Health Corporation, the facility should be ready by the end of the year. ARASE Health Corporation will also undertake the training of health workers and provide medical equipment and essential pharmaceutical drugs to selected hospitals. To the riverine communities in Anambra State, Chief Willie Obiano has fulfilled his promise and handed 15 speed boats and 7 water ambulances to give them a new lease of life. He also donated a gunboat to the Nigerian Naval Outpost in Onitsha, so that the Navy would be better equipped to tackle the menace of criminals who use the water channels in the state to carry out their nefarious activities. The gesture represents a whole paradigm shift in successive interventionist efforts by the Anambra State government to open up the riverine communities, most of which have been cut off from the rest of the state by the lack of access to modern water transportation system. Governor Obiano has continued to strengthen the education sector with the disbursement of 733 million naira for the renovation of Universal Basic Education Mission schools, and has built over 1,000 classroom blocks for primary schools in the state.
So what he has done is that with the Catholic and Anglican missions, who we have handed over schools to, and we are co-managing the schools with them, It has continued to empower them to ensure that that alliance doesn't fail, that the partnership must continue to work. So what he has done is that for 2014-2015, he has given the sum of 733 million naira to the churches, 433 million to the Catholic Church, and 300 million to the Anglican Church, based on the number of schools each of the mission has. This is apart from the ones that are actually being taken on by ASUBEB. So you have them on a multiple basis, the ones that have been given over to the missions to do their renovation themselves, and the ones that are being done by the state government through the ASUBEB.
To maintain Anambra's top position in the sector, the state government is building the capacity of teachers. Vocational teachers were sponsored to Singapore for special training. This will sharpen their competence and overall ability to deliver on their jobs. In the same vein, teachers in the state have undergone modern computer appreciation to avail them with the modern ICT techniques as teaching tool. Teachers, like all civil servants in the state, have had their salaries increased, and those teaching in the hard-to-staff areas as well as those teaching core sciences are given additional bonuses as incentive.
The beauty of this is that teachers didn't need to ask for them to get an increment. By January this year, their salary was increased by 15%. And to add to that, we have the problem of attrition of teachers in the rural areas. This is the hard-to-staff areas where teachers hardly would want to stay because they are remote, they are hard to reach, and sometimes some of them are in the riverine areas. So to keep and retain teachers there, the government is paying every teacher, both primary and secondary school teachers that are there, 20% of their basic salary. That is in addition to their salary. So for us, a lot of teachers are getting excited. Some of them are even asking to go to those areas so that they can earn that money.
Governor Obiano believes that no child should be without basic education, especially the girl child. He has therefore concluded plans to build schools in the riverine areas of the state.
The issue of girl child education in the rural areas, riverine areas, a place like Ayamelum, where girls are almost not going to school. The same thing we did with migrant farmer school. I'm now taking the schools to them, so that schools are now closer. So we've given the first set of 30 schools that we are going to build will go to the villages of these students, unlike before, where they have to go for a longer distance. That's the structure we are running for farmers too. We are taking schools to them, so that while they are working, their children can go to school.
We have our strategic objective that we will ensure that the learning needs of all are met through equitable distribution of resources and ensure that we are one of the 3 top states with the lowest illiteracy rate.
He has also introduced scholarship programs for the physically challenged children in the state and other victims of insurgents in northern Nigeria. To meet the employment needs of the coming agro-allied concerns and industries in the oil and gas sectors, the government has trained over 1,000 youth in modern techniques in agriculture, aquaculture, and automobile engineering. Complementing Governor Willie Obiano's Youth Empowerment Program, Chief Mrs. CHUKWULOBELU Usudieme, wife of the Governor of Anambra State, has continued to impact positively on the lives of the needy. She also champions the rescue of the mentally sick and education of children in special schools. She also empowers indigent widows and young women in Anambra. Through her foundation, Caring Family Enhancement Initiative Cafe, well over 200 women in various vocations, hairdressing, beauty therapy and cosmetology, confectionaries, tailoring and fashion designing, and soap making have been trained and adequately equipped in its first empowerment scheme.
If we have that woman 2 or 3 in this state, in fact, this state will be called, it will be a great state. She's a great woman, and I just pray for God to give her life upon life. The woman has been helping the less privileged ones. Like when I went there, widows, that is if you see the kind of people she was training, she went into the village to collect those people that are nobody, and she made them somebody today. So I'm very happy because I was there when she gave this truck OKEKE to those that she trained under nursing, those she trained under catering. She gave them this standing oven with the cash attached to it, other things. So I saw so many things. I'm very happy. I've never seen this before.
The second phase of CAFE Skills Program, comprising empowerment of 160 women, is currently underway. This is in addition to soft loans granted widows who are eager to start small-scale businesses.
As she gathered us here, we are learning a lot from her. And for what we are learning, we will use it to grow, we use it to train our children, and we use it to reach our neighbors.
She's been a good mother indeed for organizing such a program. Because me, myself, I was looking for a place to go and learn this tailoring. Like people from the Liberia area, they don't have any help. People that are widow among us, single parents among us, those that their husband don't have money to afford for anything, those that their husband are handicapped are here. Some orphans are here that society don't even care who they are. But really, I don't know how to describe her, but what I call her often when I'm praying is she's a God sent to Anambra State women, and we love her.
Highly worried and in a bid to reduce mother and child mortality, Mrs. Obiano periodically visits various hospitals and primary health centers, championing a campaign on the need for pregnant women to receive adequate antenatal care during pregnancy and deliver safely. CAFE has donated medical equipment to various healthcare institutions in the state. These include motorized labor and maternity beds for safe delivery of babies. CAFE has also provided prosthetic limbs to hundreds of Anambra who are physically challenged. It has also performed corrective surgeries on numerous children with cleft lips, saving them from the stigmatization of deformity. CAFE has also established a home for the mentally challenged in Nteje. It provides them free treatment and nurses them back to health. Also, DMS Foundation is concluding plans to build an old people's home to cater for the aged. CAFE has also continued to support various orphanages in the state through donations. The governor's widespread acceptance by Anambra is a vivid testimony that Chief Willie Obiano is making good his electoral promises. He has already shown immense commitment and dexterity in developing Anambra to be Nigeria's first choice investment destination and a nerve center for industrial and commercial activities that will favorably match developed economies across the globe.
With all our hearts, we pray and ask, God bless Anambra, God bless the shining light that we bear. We're to make her brighter, the only ones to make her better, the only ones to make Anambra shine.